Ukrainian gains in Donetsk have raised hopes Kyiv's troops could soon encircle Bakhmut. As a map by Institute for the Study of War (ISW) has showed the state of play around the city in the Donbas region fiercely fought over for months. Ukraine's military reported on Sunday that it had liberated the village of Klishchiivka in the latest success in its more than 3-month-long counteroffensive on the Bakhmut axis of the frontline aimed at recapturing Russian-occupied territory. It came 2 days after it gained control of the neighboring village of Andriivka, which is about 6 miles southwest of Bakhmut. Ukrainian War Monitor, an account on X, formerly Twitter, that posts about Russia's full-scale invasion that began on February 24, 2022, wrote on September 15 that Ukrainian forces had pushed from waterline defenses west of Kyiv, a settlement 12 miles south of Bakhmut. The town's high ground gives Ukraine a great opportunity to disrupt Russian logistics into Bakhmut, it posted. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian World Congress wrote on X that the liberation of Andriivka opens the way for a potential breakthrough of defenders to encircle Bakhmut from the south. In its update on Sunday, the ISW gave an overview of Ukraine's operations around Bakhmut following unwarranted criticism about the resources Kyiv has committed to fighting for Bakhmut. Russia's fight was spearheaded by the mercenary Wagner Group and its late leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin, and has been the scene of high losses on both sides, particularly among troops fighting for Moscow. Ukrainian forces almost immediately started their counteroffensive in the area after the Wagner withdrawal in May, and in June, July and August, and have conducted, sustained and reinvigorated, offensive actions near Bakhmut's northern and southern flanks, according to the ISW. The think tank also said that parts of 2 of Russia's 4 airborne (VDV) divisions and 3 of its 4 VDV separate brigades are defending the Bakhmut area. One of the ISW maps shows Russia's VDV deployment around Bakhmut and the growing presence of Ukrainian troops west of the city in the counteroffensive. Despite criticism of Ukraine's continuing operations in the area amid reports of high losses, the think tank concluded that Kyiv's tactics in Bakhmut prevented Russia from creating a large mobile VDV operational reserve that could have stopped the Ukrainian counteroffensive in the Zaporizhia Oblast. Continued large-scale Ukrainian counteroffensive efforts around Bakhmut are necessary to keep Russian forces fixed in that area, the ISW added. Newsweek reached out to the Russian Defense Ministry by email for comment. Ukraine video shows destruction in reclaimed village near Bakhmut. A video shared on Monday by the Ukrainian military portrays the village of Klishchiivka in complete ruins after it was recaptured by Kyiv's forces earlier this week. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced on Sunday that his troops had regained control of the Kyiv village southwest of Bakhmut, a city in eastern Ukraine that has endured some of the bloodiest battles of the war. Photos circulated Sunday afternoon of Ukrainian soldiers embracing their country's flag among destroyed buildings in the village. In a video shared to X, formerly Twitter, on Tuesday by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, aerial footage sweeping overhead of Klishchiivka shows additional details of the village's destruction, including ruined buildings and barren trees. In occasional clips, pillars of smoke can be seen rising from the ashes. Ukraine credited the 5th Assault Brigade of its ground forces for the video. Newsweek could not independently verify the footage. The recapturing of Klishchiivka is a major milestone in Ukraine's ongoing counteroffensive, which for months has been focused on reclaiming Russian-occupied territory in the southeast. Zelensky has promised that the war cannot end until all of Ukraine is returned to Kyiv, including the Crimean Peninsula, which was annexed by Russia in 2014. Ukrainian military spokesperson Ilya Yevlash wrote on Telegram Sunday that the battle to retake Klishchiivka inflicted powerful damage on Moscow's forces in the area. So now we have gained a base that will allow us to continue to develop offensive actions and liberate our land from the invaders, Yevlash added. Ukraine's troops have continued to make slow but tactical gains as they close in on the city of Bakhmut, which was taken by Russia in May. On Friday, Kyiv announced that its 3rd Separate Assault Brigade had successfully reclaimed the village of Andriivka, roughly 6 miles south of the city. The victories arrive just before Zelensky is scheduled to visit Washington, D.C. Additional funding for Ukraine has been a key debate among Congress as lawmakers fight over a short-term continuing resolution to avoid government shutdown. President Joe Biden has repeatedly committed to assisting Ukraine, and asked last month for an additional $24 million in military aid for Kyiv. While lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have expressed support for supplying Ukraine, some more conservative lawmakers have argued for cuts to spending packages. Since Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, Congress has passed roughly $61.4 billion in military assistance split over 4 separate funding packages. Newsweek reached out to Russia's defense ministry for comment via email. Russian commander of elite air assault brigade killed in Ukraine. Colonel Andrei Kondratshkin, the commander of a Russian elite air assault brigade, has reportedly been killed in Ukraine. The news was announced by Alexander Khodorkovsky, the commander of the Russian-aligned Vostok battalion fighting on the Donetsk front, whose troops were pushed out of the village of Urozhain in August. Kondratshkin, the commander of the elite 31st Airborne Storm Brigade, is reported to have played a crucial role in Russia's siege of Mariupol in 2022. Khodorkovsky suggested he was killed in a Ukrainian strike. While we were fighting hand in hand, we became friends with Andrei, and today we were deeply hurt by the news of his death. We offer our condolences to his family and friends, his comrades in arms, Khodorkovsky wrote in a post on his Telegram social media channel on Sunday. The Kremlin hasn't commented on news of Kondratshkin's death. Newsweek has contacted Russia's defense ministry for comment via email. Ukrainian journalist Yuri Butusov said the 31st Airborne Storm Brigade has taken part in all the major battles of the war, and said the brigade is now located near the city of Bakhmut in Ukraine's Donetsk region, currently the scene of intense fighting. Kondratshkin had been tasked with repelling Ukrainian attacks south of the Donetsk village of Andriivka to prevent the remnants of the 72nd Motorized Rifle Brigade from being captured. However, Kondratshkin was unable to complete the task, Butusov wrote. The circumstances of exactly how Kondratshkin was killed during these battles are not yet known. But the liquidation of the commander of one of the Russian strike formations is a serious achievement. In the battles for Andriivka, as is now known, a large number of command personnel of the 57th, 72nd, 85th Motorized Rifle and 31st Air Assault Brigades of the Russian Armed Forces were destroyed, the journalist said. Ukraine's 3rd Separate Assault Brigade said on September 15 that a Russian brigade had been left in tatters after the recapture of Andriivka, which is located some 10 kilometers 6 miles south of Bakhmut. Its capture came more than 3 months into Kyiv's counteroffensive to reclaim Russian-occupied territory. The brigade said on Telegram that its servicemen reclaimed Andriivka after surrounding its Russian garrison during a lightning operation that took place over 2 days. The Russian brigade was left in tatters, it said. In 2 days, the 3rd Assault Brigade eliminated the chief of enemy brigade intelligence, 3 battalion commanders, and almost all the infantry of the 72nd Brigade, together with other officers and a significant amount of equipment, it said. As of now, the fighting continues, our units continue to consolidate in new positions. Andriivka's recapture is key to success in all further directions, the brigade said, adding, we pay a high price for the results of these battles. And the blood of each of our fighters will be repaid only with blood. Ukraine's defense forces eliminated about 272,940 Russian invaders between February 24, 2022 and September 18, 2023, including 620 in the past day alone. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine said this in a post on Facebook, Ukrinform reports.